Not touching anything else. They had to call the tech guy there after our last meeting. Or fix the TV. Nobody knew how to fix it. All right. I'm glad it's just us. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna need a lot of help in the next couple weeks from you guys. I have some really good news. Our federal grant is reinstated. Oh, good. To an extent that they know of. We had a meeting today with the Hispanic Access Foundation. And they said that the money's starting to flow again, that we should proceed, but don't get involved in anything that's like a long-term thing, because they don't know if it'll be refunded after September 30th, because that's when Congress is supposed to pass their next budget. So we also.
They might even be here by September, the way they're going.
You'll be here.
I'm talking about the government, the way they're
Oh,
going.
government.
Who knows where we're gonna be in September.
We also had a meeting last week, state, this was before we learned this money was going to be available again. And I went to the state, because we have two grants, one's for $1 million, that's the federal, and we got $850 from the state. And I went to talk to Brian McDonald, he's the state forester, one of them. And told him, I don't think our money's coming back, so can we make adjustments to the state grant to cover some of the stuff that was supposed to be covered under the federal grant? And he was very amenable to that and said, yeah, whatever you need, just, there's a process that we would have to go through. But I was very encouraged by that, so we were all set to go out to bid for a tree maintenance contract. And then we got the phone call that they wanted to have a meeting today. So both pots of money are available.
Right.
What I want to do is I just sent Jody an email after our meeting and said, let's load everything into the federal grant up front. And then if something happens, then we could go to the state grant. I don't want to waste money if we can get it, so.
Right.
That's a good idea. So we have been specifications that we prepared to do our first. They were modeled off of Hamilton Township's bid specs that they did last year. And it's a 3-year proposal. But we're going to select the Hazel's here. We're going to select the winner used on their first year submission. So we're not too much worried about the following 2 years. So it'll be a per tree basis instead of a contract job for the whole city, and it's going to be per tree. So we can submit work orders and say, okay, you need to do this street, you need to do that park or whatever at the appropriate time. They'll go out and do the work, submit the bill, and they'll get paid like maybe monthly. So
that's encouraging for them.
well, it would be nice, I'm sure they'd rather have a contract job so that they know everything that has to be done. But this is a better way for us to do it, because like I said, money's in jeopardy, then we just don't give them a work order. So we'll probably, we already got permission from the city council to go out to bid and probably be advertised next week. So probably by mid-April, we'll be able to award a contract and start seeing some of these trees. We have a lot, we have, I think, 82 or 84 trees that are high risk.
Holy smokes.
So what?
The high risk that they're,
High risk.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with the worst ones and take them down as soon as possible. We also have to be ready for Buffalo Avenue. The 400, 500 blocks are gonna be paved in the spring. So we have to take care of those trees.
There aren't very many on those plots.
No, there's not that many that need to be paying attention either. They're pretty good shape, actually.
Did you get the grant money back?
Yeah, well, temporarily, yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be refunded, but you know, you never know what Donald Trump's up to these days.
Just out of curiosity, do we know the history of the 84 currently that are on this list?
They're
Like
just-
previous,
The history of them, they're old,
oh,
some
I'm
of them,
sorry, I meant like, historically speaking. Previously, did we have counts on trees that were needed attention like you do now?
No.
Like these 84?
we
Okay,
didn't know.
got it. Okay,
We just had Dick's, all we had was his, inventory,
okay,
which he did, but we didn't have a program
okay,
to address that, whatever he put in them, because we didn't have any money.
Right.
And so that was the whole idea behind applying for the grants. But now that we have the money, one of the requirements of the state grant was that we do an inventory, that's available, like professionally done. Not that you're not professional, this is very good.
I'm not.
But it's an online program, so. That's a requirement, and we did that. It cost us about $50,000 to get that done. But they came out in a couple days and did the whole city.
great.
They sent a whole team of people out here. And they did it, and the database, the website is phenomenal. Like you can pull up layers of sick trees, healthy trees,
Oh, cool.
certain species of trees.
I'm still hoping to learn how to do that.
Diameter. Yeah, it's quite intricate, but. I mean, I could give you access to it if you want.
I would like to, yeah.
Yeah, I would like that already.
Pardon?
Did I do that already?
I don't think so.
That's for our trees, right?
Yeah,
From the report. It's a website?
it's a,
Spreadsheet.
anybody could go there and pull up their own tree. And so you could go on there, you don't need a password or anything.
And what's it called?
It's called. Tree keeper.com.
Okay,
You're gonna send that to me.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
okay, that's good.
you'll have full access.
I don't have full access. You said,
She said you will
We'll
have.
give you full
Okay.
access so you can play with it. So like if you go on there, treekeeper.com. You'll see a map of Egg Harbor City with all the dots on it of the trees. And there's a thing up in the corner and you could punch in your address
Mhm.
and it'll pull up your
That's
tree and
very
give you
nice.
information.
Oh,
But anybody can do that, yeah.
cool.
And then there's different levels of access, like I could give him access where he can play with it, but he can't change anything.
right.
Like arborist has access to do work orders, which means that they'll send a email to the Public Works Department for an emergency or something like that. The contractor will have access so that whenever he or she works on a tree, they'll be able to update it, so it's always updated and we don't lose. And we also got permission from the state to extend. When we first bought the software program, we just got it for 1 year. But when we discussed our problem, they said, well, they have packages, so if you go on there and talk to them, we'll give you a package for 3 years.
So cool.
So it'll cover the whole grant period.
Great.
And then if we still want to keep it going after that, then we could, you know.
I know I've asked this 1,000 times, but it basically street trees that are along the streets, right?
Yes.
Not people's cars.
No,
They were looking at. When I saw them working, trees that were not street trees, that were further in. That were
10 feet in from,
10 feet is the rule, okay,
10 feet from the edge of, on streets that don't have sidewalks.
yes,
10 feet from the edge of the
okay,
asphalt,
that's good.
yeah, because they went even into the wooded areas, like
They
the,
won't,
they went in even to the wooded areas. You know, the streets that don't have streets and sidewalks or
Right.
houses on them,
Right, right.
they even did those.
Like the dirt roads down
Yeah.
there with that one end of all.
there's an awful huge number of trees on San Francisco and.
Yeah,
that's
New
what I
Orleans
said.
that don't have sidewalks.
Right. So they surveyed those. I don't think we're gonna address them if they're, you know, too
How
close.
about the terraces?
We didn't do the terraces.
Okay.
And they also, when we sent them out to New York Avenue, the road, excuse me, going into high school, they saw the neighborhood back there at Cedar Creek, and they did those trees. But
There
I
aren't
was
many.
like, there are no street trees, they're all on private property. Because the right of way is shorter there than the rest of the city, they had to do that to give the developer more density. So I was like, take that off, take them off.
Yeah.
And the only things we did from Atlantic to Deer Street, border to border. And then we sent them to New York Avenue and to trees around the lake. So that's what's in the inventory. And we have a Peace Pilgrim Park soon, that'll be a priority. To grow the trees where the gazebo is. Because the statue's coming back, hopefully this summer. And we wanna make sure that the trees are taken care of, we don't want them to fall on the statue
Right.
again, you know, so.
She's been going along.
Yeah, so we're doing good with our tree grants, thank God. And
Thank you.
you're welcome, BPU Community Energy Planning, implementation grant is going. That's the funding we got for EV charging stations on Philadelphia Avenue, and we also learned that we got approved for the state incentives that are available. It pays to plug in the incentive. And Jody's working on she got a couple of estimates to install them, and that she's hoping we could go out to award purchase in April. So the EV charging stations might be on Philadelphia Avenue by the summer,
Well, how would one pay for that?
with a credit card.
With a credit card?
And okay, it's a whole bunch of other stuff in there.
So that's in front of the old collective federal.
Yes, that's there, and we were gonna put them out at the train station too.
Yeah, but there's another, with the train.
The county.
Yeah, they're doing it.
County got grant money, so they're gonna do the transportation hubs in all around in Atlantic County. So that relieves our money. I think we wanna do one here at City Hall.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't wanna see them take 2 parking spaces, but
One parking place, so.
well, they charge 2 cars. So you
Wow.
need 2 spaces. And then we'll also have to change our ordinance to ensure that people don't park there unless they're charging, we have to pass an ordinance for that. It's like really complicated, we just start doing something.
Yeah. Layers.
Yeah. And then, we had our first meeting with these are 2 sustainable Jersey programs. Climate vulnerability assessment, technical assistance program, we had our first meeting, and it was just basically to give an overview of how the program's gonna work. We'll look at various facets of climate change and the dangers posed. And the one I was most concerned about is forest fires, things like that. So we had our first meeting on that. That they said 18 months before you do anything. But the
That's
information,
state or federal?
this is state of New Jersey. It's funded by the BPU. But it's run by Sustainable Jersey. And they have people from the College of New Jersey that are walking us through this stuff. And it'll be like, we'll call in like the fire chief when we just discuss fire. We'll hopefully have the Office of Emergency Management participate in several of them. We'll look at flooding and any other, like heat. Like, what do you do if it's like we have 105-degree temperatures? How do we keep people cool?
Right.
Where do we send them?
Right.
You know, so you look at all that kind of stuff. The same thing with cold. If it's cold, pipes start freezing, you know, are we working with, Jersey American Water to make sure that people have water, things like that. So it's really just a planning exercise, but the information gleaned from it will have to go into the master plan.
It's really good, like to be on top of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be in there and it'll be, you know, master plan's good for at least 10 years, so we'll have a roadmap for the future. And Ryan on his own signed up for another program like this called Complete Streets Policy. And I don't know if you remember, we had to have a complete streets policy already from like 2009, 2010, that the city adopted. I think they did that to get money for Philadelphia Avenue when they did the streetscape.
There
And
was this, that was all done by volunteers from UPenn,
yes, I remember that.
yes?
And then for getting the bridge to the schools, between the schools and all, that's how that originally developed. But there's so many new programs that Ryan is gonna be attending this for the next couple of months too. And doing the same thing, including it in the master plan. So there's a lot of good stuff happening behind the scenes, but it just takes forever to get anything done. It's amazing how long things take. And then there's also the iBank is another program. It's iBank is a state fund. I don't know where they get the money from, but they have a pot of money and towns can borrow from money to do stormwater infrastructure improvements. So we're looking at that and we're eligible for up to $5 million a year. Wow.
Wow.
And it's a multi-year program. So we're waiting to hear back. from
Is
you.
New Jersey American Water doing our stormwater?
No,
No,
we're
okay,
still doing
okay.
it. So whenever they pave the street,
I do a little,
that's the time, you know, you gotta look at what's underneath.
And
So this
And we have one
IBAC
as
program
well.
will help with that. It'll look at the storm drains, which will be switched over
Mhm.
to the new kind over the next couple of years and things like that. So, this is all really good stuff for the environment.
Oh, if you went back, corner there by Atlantic Avenue and the railroad track and Philadelphia Avenue. The water today was still like meeting in the middle of the street
yeah,
on that corner.
So what, it's not draining?
It doesn't ever drain there for a long time, but it was really bad
They
today.
just discussed that at the last meeting.
Yeah. It was talked about, you know, that the railroad was gonna fix it. They don't care about that.
So it's been a while like that.
Oh, years.
yeah.
Well, that might be one of the first priorities to get that taken care
Because
of.
it is on like a scary corner when you go through there.
On Elaine.
Yeah, it's on that corner.
We're at 850.
I noticed that even the newest, most recently repaved street, which is the 300 block of Liverpool, doesn't drain. That is-
Really?
The water goes into the gutters, but it doesn't go up the street or down the street, it
Yeah,
just
it's
stays
funny,
there.
it's in
There's
front of my
no
house.
grading.
The
Yeah.
water puddles where it used to, it's not as bad as it was, but yeah, it's still, it's a beautiful street, but it still sits right where it did before.
Are there drains there or no?
There are drains at the ends, but
Yeah,
there's
the
no
streets at the
gradient
ends.
Okay.
to make the water flow toward the ends of the blocks.
Right. I'm right in the
And your
middle,
street was done when?
Last
2
year,
years
Yeah.
ago?
this year,
this year,
Yours was one of the ones done?
Yeah. yeah, recently.
even your parking lot out here doesn't drain.
They, at least they paved, you know, it was bad.
And then they had to repave it in spots, so it looks all messy.
Well, I could
Oh, wow.
it's an old
Well,
town.
Is that from,
We need more storm drains is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
no, you need properly engineered storm drainage.
Yeah, I would say that, yes.
Alright.
I love the way Ed Sheepy, that's where my daughter lives, they don't have curbs, they're like
Gullies.
gullies, they're concrete, it's
Yeah.
beautiful,
Goes down, yeah.
really nice, I said, wow, I'm sure you got these.
But is that good though? Doesn't the water come up onto the lawn?
No,
No.
no,
It runs, right?
It runs.
It runs, yeah.
it runs.
If you really want to see how it look right, go to California.
Yeah, well,
What do they do there?
But, oh, it's a state process and it's all the curbs and the closest part of the street are all a single concrete unit. That drains properly.
well, we'll move on. We can't solve all the world's problems.
I remember
Right,
when
right.
I studied at Berkeley, I was amazed at the buses and everything just worked right.
And we knew that, yeah, in
Bill
very
Maher,
low
thinks so.
area. How
So
they
what's
ever
the
built,
solar
they've never
thing
been able to build a Park City today,
No.
in this part of the area.
Yeah.
The only good thing is the peepers are singing now, that's my happiest spring thing.
It's because we had wet hands.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite spring thing.
I wouldn't have a basement if.
That's right,
Today.
that's right.
But I didn't even go down my basement. to
Well, it's
leave
not
the
too
thing.
bad, but I got 2 sump pumps and I could probably use another one, but it's.
Oh, when my mom lived on Liverpool Avenue, the basement flooded all the time.
Yep.
But that, I'm talking about, this was back when she died 25 years ago. This was when they tore up the whole back of, Lincoln Park,
Mm,
remember, and,
Yes,
They dug that
the
hole.
oil company was over there, the gas company.
yeah, I think they were doing, yeah, they just like dug up all of that, like, in like the late 90s.
yeah.
And I had just moved to North Carolina. And I had all of my stuff packed, like all the boxes in my mother's basement. She said the movers, because we were in the military, so she said the movers got there and got everything out of the basement the day, like that day, and then like that night,
Oh
it poured
my
rain, she said there was like this much water in the basement, like all my stuff.
But when we built our house, we had to build it way higher. You couldn't just build it down.
Did the right thing.
Yeah.
Well, you have an engineer, so.
Well, yeah, that's helped once in a while.
All right, so this is where I need everybody's help on the spring environmental series. I gave you the flyer.
Yes.
This kind of has everything on it.
Yeah.
We could do individual flyers for individual events, but I wanted to get something that we could post that has everything. I'll go through them. And Pinelands Flora and Fauna, that's going to be done by the Pinelands Preservation Alliance. So that'll be held here, we can do a PowerPoint, it's real simple, so not much needs to be done with that, but I just need to confirm. That it will, that they're available and that date's gonna be held. Then it's the Arbor Day celebration, which. I think we need to rethink it this year, I don't think it could be. Like it was, only because I don't have the time. If somebody wants to work on getting vendors and exhibitors and food trucks. You know, then we can have a celebration.
And I want to talk to you about this when we're all done too, but my granddaughter just called me. Donna Heiss called her. Did you go to that meeting last night? And she said, talk to you about if you could get trees and bring a big table and do stuff out for that. And I said, we'll work on that too.
Yeah, we could do that, but that's not until.
That's the end
middle
of June, the end of June. It's
So,
gonna be a very big, and she's very successful at everything she does.
you know,
I don't mind working on that with someone, but you know, it is tough because just like you, I mean, I have a full-time job. You know, I'm definitely handling the photo contest.
Oh, that's
end of
right,
it.
yeah, you are.
You
we
know, I mean,
need
the
to
photo-
make some changes to that, right?
Yeah, but you know, I told Hamilton not to worry about it this year, we'll figure it out next year.
Like, all we have to do is just change a sentence in the thing, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know, I just, you know, it's hard to do by text message and email, so I just said to them, don't worry about it for now, I'm waiting for clarification. I guess because I'm, you know, involved in the Hamilton Arts Center,
Mhm.
and we get all these calls for artists from all over the place. And I understand we wanna keep it Egg Harbor City, but once again, we're just a small little town, and how many people really? I mean, we did well first time last year. You know, once again, I just thought if we open it up, I hate to say open it up to anybody, but I'll email it to the Hamilton Arts people. I mean, I don't know if anybody's gonna do it, but it is. I keep telling you, look, $100 is wonderful. I have to, when I do my photo contest, I'll make it real quick. When I do my photo contest, I might be up against 20, maybe 15 other photos, maybe 20. I have to pay $12 a piece to put them in there. And I would make, maybe if it's a good show, $75. And I'm paying, and then that's not including my framing and everything else. So doing it online, and I'll print them out for these people, making $100. I'm like, can I do it? So, I mean, that is a really good deal, and I just
It's
think
only
it brings-
it's one prize, we're not gonna do like a gift certificate for honorable mention. An mention is just that.
Right, yeah,
It's a
well, I don't get
certificate,
anything
that's
when I
it.
get, We get first, second, third,
That's all we're
and
getting.
it goes down, and then honorable mentions, just congratulations, you got an honorable mention.
So it'll be $100, 75.
That's huge, I mean, that's a lot, yeah,
Or 70,
175 and
150,
50.
25, something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
huge, that's a nice chunk of change for going out with your cell phone and taking some photos and submitting them online, and for what I drove through. But, I mean, it's my hobby, and I love it, but by the time I pay for everything, it's a hobby,
And the theme is trees throughout the seasons.
yes.
So if it's a picture from the summer, that'd be fine.
Sure.
You know, so,
Do you want the Roundhouse Museum toilet available for that?
the what?
For the
Yes,
Yes.
Peaceful Park?
yes,
thing?
Oh, the bathroom.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what,
Not a lot of things on
Yes, we can order available for that.
it? 'Cause I have a conflict for part of that time.
Right, well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind working with someone on this, if somebody else wants to help me do it, but to take it on all myself, same thing, like,
Well, you're doing the photo contest
I'm doing a photo contest. I
and,
can help,
and you're doing the poetry readings.
right, and I got 2 people who will do the poetry readings, I definitely have one, and I'm working on somebody from the school.
Good.
I'll
do the tree giveaways. And we have these little baby things.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do like we did last year, go buy some big trees.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna ask, Rick to do it again. He drove me up to the nursery.
Oh, I great. I
And we picked them up a couple days before,
And
so,
I'll work with Dick, in the museum.
okay, well, there's nothing about much.
Think about it.
No, but you have to have somebody in there. You can't just leave it open to people,
And then,
or I make Gary do it.
I did get a half-assed commitment from Taylor Made Treats. You know Taylor?
no, I do,
You know Taylor.
yeah,
right?
the ice cream
She
sandwiches.
does ice cream, she's an ice cream
Yeah.
truck. And she said she'll stop by.
Do you do contracts or what, how do you do it? You just
They can
start
just
calling
call.
people?
Robbie
They
Gringo's
have-
coming again,
They are required to contact the city, right? They have to pay a fee.
Yes,
How much is it?
I
$35?
don't know, I don't know what it is.
The food truck has to pay the city for the right to vend. And they take care of that, and they have to be county certified and all that, but we're not getting involved with that. All we're doing is inviting them,
Mhm.
Right.
and they just show up, and if they sell, they sell, if they don't.
Ice cream truck.
Robbie Gringo's, they came last year, they
They,
said.
we could probably get them again, but you know what, I was thinking something, keep it really simple and just like have hot dogs and ice cream.
Yeah.
Something simple that,
But,
because I don't know how much tip Robin Gringos made last year,
right,
because they don't have like a traditional menu.
I mean, if they don't wanna come, if they didn't make enough, they just say they don't wanna come.
Right.
I haven't talked to,
Take that, see, I just ran out of the house, an old list of vendors that.
oh, yeah, but that's easy enough to get through. Through this, you know.
So I was thinking just a hot dog vendor and,
I
Ice
know the
cream?
guy that owns, the taco guy truck,
oh, do you?
yeah,
From-
I could talk to them.
Taco guy from Margate?
Yeah, well, they closed the.
They closed the
Yeah,
store.
the restaurant, yeah, and they're just doing the food
I
truck.
think that would be good.
I think that'd be good, I think that'd be good.
I'd like
Can you
that.
call them and?
Yeah, I'll call, well, I know my, yeah,
Yeah, I think, I mean, a taco cat is good, that's a nice variety, it's a little different than Robbie Gringo's.
And it's cheaper.
Taco.
Yeah.
And it's.
In addition to food trucks,
I don't know anymore.
Go ahead, Dick.
in addition to food trucks, I'd like to give some kind of possibility to the local Mexican restaurant that's next to Incolingo's.
They won't be here.
That usually comes to the Philadelphia Avenue street fairs, but not in a truck. They're in under a small
Like a tent
tent.
or something.
I don't know how you would invite them to.
I don't think they would, I don't wanna get involved with that because I don't know if they're licensed, if they have the certifications and all that.
So
from the
that's more
county.
for them to set up and.
Yeah. They gotta be mobile. It's the people who have the food trucks,
Mhm.
they're licensed already, so.
Well, maybe
it's-
they'd be licensed too. They certainly
Okay.
are licensed enough to be on our Philadelphia Avenue whenever.
Well, it's something we can talk about, it,
Which one are you talking about?
the one next thing
Pepe's.
Gringo's.
Pepe's.
Not Pepe's, what is it
I don't know
called?
Pepe's.
No,
Oh, yeah,
it's like
Russ.
next to, there's the Chinese place, and then there's that smoke shop, and then there's mariachis. Is that it?
They say it's really
There's
good.
a Domino's Pizza next door to it too,
Yeah.
and H&R Block.
No, it was there. Didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, it's supposedly really good.
And they make lovely tamales, wow,
Yeah,
It's very good food.
That's good for that.
$5.
and then,
Expensive.
there's I didn't bring my files, I had
I
paper
can't,
all over my desk. There's a professor at Stockton who's been doing
Where I'm gonna be at.
a program on culture, I guess. And
Oh, it's Olson?
wildfire. And I wanted to talk to him and see if he would come and be a speaker. But again, it's like, this thing is, I don't know how it's, I just can't envision it this year.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure if I'm
usually
gonna
I
be there
envision-
April 25th. I don't know if I'm gonna be there. It's
So-
still March, right?
Whatever
If
you
you
want
come
help with too. I'll
Well,
happy to
last year
help.
we had like Atlantic City Electric was there. I sent an email out to the same people who showed up last year, and I'm also trying to get Jersey American Water to come. And I didn't respond.
I
And I
wasn't
don't
planning
have
on
time to
being, but I
constantly-
guess it has to
So
be
then I
now.
have a meeting, and then I have to go to work, try to write a story in between.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing good with my job.
My schedule's very.
So, we'll see how it plays out, but the thing is, you gotta start promoting it, and I wanted to make sure everything was set before we, start promoting it, and we'll put something up there that's not gonna happen.
Are you doing ACUA Earth Day this year?
We've never done that.
I thought I saw you there one year.
Well, I go every once in a while, but
Okay.
It's hard to squeeze that in like everything
yeah,
else.
there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next event is the community cleanup day. We have, the students are cleaning up the lake and trail probably. So if we want to clean up, we should find a different area to clean up, maybe something in town. Whatever, so let me know if you come up with an idea.
Let you know?
Well, just so I know where you are.
Okay, I'll be,
If we fill out a form and let the mayor know,
yeah, I always do Lower Bank Road.
well, then we should do that and because we can get money. She does a raffle,
I know. Oh, okay, put it on.
that's a lot of money, it's like what,
It's $150, I think.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Iron House.
the other place, do you do Hay Road at all?
Oh, that's
Hay Road is not in Egg Harbor City,
Yes, it is,
only the very top end of it is.
yeah, beach,
Right,
Where
right
you
on the
fish.
border of Galloway,
but
it's
that's,
a dirt road,
yeah,
and the dirt is all on at the far end, and Steve Fiedler cleans that up.
Yes,
regularly.
all the time.
well, he kind of dropped out of cleaning it up, so I don't know
Okay.
what. Yeah, cause he's cleaning up that other
Lower,
part.
it's,
I've seen him. They're talking about making the Mulligan River wild and scenic,
yes,
so like the Egg Harbor River is, which is a special designation. And,
I know a lot about that.
well, we should have him come to a meeting and talk about his effort. And somebody said do it soon because they're closing one of the offices.
And you're,
They're closing one of the offices,
of what?
Fish and Wildlife, I guess.
Yeah, Galloway.
Great. Wild and
Probably
Scenic
wouldn't
is
take
National
away.
Park Service. Philadelphia office,
Well,
does all of New Jersey.
Donald Trump's on the warpath, so.
Yeah.
You know what, Dick, that would be a good program if you could do that one night at the Historical Society and talking about that, about the Mullica.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. That's a good idea.
Good.
Could be.
We're
But it's, Great Egg Harbor is not really Egg Harbor City.
No, I know that, but I'm saying you know about what they want to do on the Mullica, you said.
Oh, no,
Oh, you
Steve
don't?
Fiedler does, I don't.
Oh, then I'll call Steve and
Okay.
get him in.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we'll do that during the summer. That would be good.
Well, if you wanna put that on this list, let me know.
Okay, I will let you know.
Rain barrel workshop. We have it scheduled here. This is also going to be done by the Pinelands Preservation Alliance. And the Mullica River Watershed Ambassador. And I was looking for a location. So I contacted Jersey American. And I haven't heard back from them. And today, Steve suggested, do it in the pavilion at the lake. Which is an idea, that might be a good spot, actually,
Mhm.
as long as it's not a stormy, rainy day.
No,
We'd be
building is got
undercover,
roof, yeah,
yeah, and it's electric. They
but it
got
doesn't have close parking.
That's close enough. You know, so we might put this at the pavilion. And I don't think we have to do anything there other than show up. They're bringing rain barrels, fixtures, he has grant money to pay for all that. So it's just a matter of us taking registrations online, which we can do, no problem. And I think about 15 rain barrels.
I remember my grandparents had big rain barrels years and years ago on Buffalo Avenue, always had rain barrels.
And then it's Mount Laurel Walk will be May 24th, 10 a.m. at the Nature Trail, and that'll be Mike Sheridan leading that. Also talked to this woman, her name is Betty Welsh, and she has a lot of common milkweed. She's gonna give us some milkweed plants, and she's gonna dig them up.
Yeah.
And if we could probably do it during that walk, where we can just take a trail and plant some of her milkweed along that trail and along the lake road coming in, because there's already some milkweed growing.
Oh, is there? Cause I was gonna say, is it sunny enough
When you
here?
go into the lake, it's on the left-hand side towards the entrance
Yeah.
on Philadelphia Avenue. I noticed it last year when I was going to the lake one day. This milkweed has the big leaves, it's common milkweed, the pink flowers. And there's a whole section of it, I was like, wow.
Donna Wolfsdorf gives me seeds all the time from her farm.
And so, we also had the city council adopt the mayor's monarch
I was just
program,
thinking about that,
and we did that, so
yeah.
that'll be one of our initiatives to get that done.
Oh my God.
So we'll plant some milkweed, and this Betty, I guess she lives somewhere here in town, said that
Name sounds familiar.
it's
Yes, that's what I thought.
I thought
She's,
that too.
she's affiliated with the thrift store town here.
the thrift store.
Oh, to volunteer.
So, so she'll get us the milkweed, that's the hard thing, is finding the milkweed. Because you can't find common milkweed anywhere, you have to go to, they don't sell it at the garden centers, they have, a tropical milkweed, which is not good for the monarchs this far north, because it has a lot of nectar in it.
Okay,
So they want to stay hungry. They stay hungry until they get to their resting place in Mexico, which is where all the tropical milkweed is.
Wow.
And then in the meantime, the next year,
So
their
they
babies
keep
are born
going.
up here and they do the same thing.
Wow.
So. And we'll do something on that later in the summer. Maybe when the milkweed's blooming, we could do something in like.
Or after,
August.
you can still take those seed pods off.
Wait, seed pods and
Yeah.
seeds for next year.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking we should do a seed swap one of these days.
Yeah.
But I don't have seeds to share.
I don't have
A lot of people do, but a lot of people have like a Tupperware container full of different
I have a
packets.
drawer across the table.
And then the final one will be at the end of May. I do a potty party. We do it right here in the park. And that will be 5 bags of dirt. 5 plants, like just regular annuals and maybe some perennials, herbs. And just buy flats,
Tomatoes and peppers.
buy flats of them.
Mhm.
And people bring their own pot
Mhm.
and we have a little potty party.
that's nice.
All easy
And I like,
stuff.
it should go to the schools too, so maybe kids would come and.
Yeah, you could bring a small pot.
Yeah, it would be good,
Plain marigold or something.
yeah.
So, but we have some money to buy plants. I have, we have about $1,000 and that we got a donation from, Senator Gordon formerly. And so we could use that for that. And that's it. So what do you think, folks? Who's gonna help with what?
To wait and see what happens when the time comes.
Whatever you need help with, I'll be happy to.
Yeah, you know, it's like moving tables, pitching our tent, we have a brand new tent, that we bought, with our logo on it and all. I haven't seen it, but Jody said it really looks nice.
And bring that out to the lake.
Yeah, and then. There's on here, it says New Jersey American Water Day. They're having an event on June 7th at Lincoln Park. And I committed us to attending that.
What
That'd be
kind of
nice.
event are they having?
It's World Water Day.
So what are they gonna do?
About the ducks,
Talk about, well, they give away, they'll probably give away those little ducks, because that's like their logo, I think, in it. And, yeah, just talk about anything about water, I guess, I don't know. They wanna make it like a festival, like kids' activities and things like that, so. I was like, yeah, we'll go to that, will you come to ours?
When does the 2-year embargo for New Jersey American Water's low prices end?
For 2 years, well, it's almost 2 years, isn't it?
God.
Is it coming up?
I guess, St. Nick's got $1,000 water bill last month.
How come?
But nobody knows,
how can they get that?
nobody knows. They were gonna go to try to see, is there something wrong with the meter or whatever, or a leak somewhere or something?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just weird how all of the utilities are suddenly like grossly overcharging people,
Climate change.
electric, gas.
My gas bill was,
No, I mean,
my gas bill this month was $50 more than it was prior. month.
Really?
Wow,
It's just been.
And it hasn't been that hot and cold,
right,
you know,
it should be lower.
Sometimes it's the meter.
That's what I think, people are complaining about the meter. My gas bill it's like 183 a month, and I cook and bake all the time. But we have a wood stove burner, but I keep my heat set on 75 because it's halfway between the wood stove and my bedroom, which is cold back there. So it's, you know, if I'm cold, I turn the heat up. So I don't think that's terrible. Well, other people said there was a lot.
Well, mine is $300, I would buy myself.
That's what I'm hearing from people.
wow.
Wow. that's
And I
almost
can't
much
be
as
cold.
mine.
And the month before it was like $250.
Wow.
And I said to, when I got the $250 bill, oh, that's not too bad.
Oh,
That'll.
One year it was $400.
Gosh.
And that's on top of electricity.
That's, yeah,
Yeah,
and the electric bill usually would go down to like $50 or $35. Now it's like $100.
oh, mine's like 180 something. And I don't know why, because I don't use a lot of electric.
Well, the thing is, in New Jersey is we consume more electricity than we generate. So we have to buy electricity
Right.
Oh, we're gonna
from
do
the
that.
auction.
Well, it's all part of the PJM.
Yeah, and we buy it at these auctions and whatever we get the best price we can possibly get. But it's high now because everybody needs the energy and they have all these AI plants, like these mega buildings with and Bitcoin,
Yeah, it all consumes energy.
the Bitcoin.
It's crazy how much.
It is amazing how much energy it takes to run the computers, to find where the Bitcoins are.
Right, right.
It's insane,
Hmm.
and this was all, like, this is where Elon Musk's brain
There
is.
were rooms full of computers.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah, so there's so much consumption of electricity and not enough generation. And, you know, I've written several stories about the towns, especially at the shore, complaining about their electric bills going up. But you know, they're the same people who complain they didn't want the windmills.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, that will make even more expensive.
Temporarily, yeah, until they start generating.
yeah,
And there is one plan out there to have energy storage at Fort Dix.
Believe it when I see it.
And I'll give you the information on it. I met a guy at one of the seminars they had. The wind turbine company. And he was there and he was talking, he's a civilian, he works for the federal government, and he said, look at this plan. They would have these buildings where they would the electric will come from the wind turbines
Right.
and be stored there, so it's there when you need it.
Right.
Just right, that's the drawback to wind energy is that it's only working when it's generating.
And solar.
And if it's same thing with solar too, like if it's not generating, if it's not
That's right.
sunny,
Right.
it's not generating, so, and there's no place to store it, so it just.
Wow.
So my stories were like, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, either you want low electric bills, or you don't want the windmills, you don't want this, you don't want that, but. You wanna go to the beach for 5 hours and keep your house air conditioned.
Right.
While you're there. That's the problem, and the houses have like 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. You know what I mean, so they're not, running a little window air conditioner,
Right.
they're running huge air conditioning, it's. Greedy,
It is.
and people don't even think about what they're consuming,
Forget the facts.
people.
People don't
It's
want to learn
frustrating,
facts about
but-
stuff.
And I have to stay kind of neutral when I write these stories. Oh, here we go. Okay, and
And make an announcement?
one last thing.
Okay.
Everybody knows who Doug Ptolemy is?
No?
Doug Ptolemy,
All
No,
is familiar.
Ptolemy.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Well, he's world renowned, specialist and professor. I don't know which college he works at, look him up, Ptolemy. I talked to the federal people today and said I would love to bring him to Egg Harbor City for a talk.
Really?
And he talks mostly about trees and homegrown national park. Where residents can create a bit of a national park in their own backyard, by converting their, gardens into native plant gardens and so forth. He recently wrote a book on oak trees and how important oak trees are to the environment and how many different species of bugs and animals the oaks contribute to all that.
Can you please spell his last name?
Tallamy.
but I only did one out.
So I said, but his speaking fee is kind of expensive, it's like $3,500. Plus you have to,
Where is he from?
Pennsylvania,
Okay.
plus you have to put him up in a hotel. So it would be about $5,000
Put him in your
price.
house.
I was just about to say, I got a second favorite.
Okay, but that's what he likes to do, they said.
Really?
They
Nice.
put him up, and he was in Stockton last year. At Sustainable Down Beach, all the 3 down beach towns. Got him to speak and they got sponsorships. And they put him up in a hotel, one of the casinos, he said he didn't like that, he'd rather stay at somebody's house.
And relax, have a drink, and order some food,
Yeah.
and just, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I-
so they said that they would fund that, that's a good thing, they like that idea. They will not let us buy T-shirts. I wanted to get you guys full T-shirts, no T-shirts.
Maybe I have.
No food, you only, you could get coffee and donuts, but you can't buy subs. Stupid shit like that, that they don't want you to spend money, waste the money on that kind of stuff. No pens, I wanted to buy pens and like notepads or something,
Sure.
no, can't do that. Can I hire a speaker? Yeah, you can do that. This guy though, Doug Tallamy, if we could get him, well, which we can, we just have to book him. But I was thinking it would be nice to have it at Cedar Creek, in the auditorium,
Yeah, that would be real nice.
and open it up to the general public.
That's a good
And
idea.
That's
have
a good idea.
that place packed. There's a lot of people, a lot of environmentalists know who he is, and they will come.
Excellent. That would be
So
good.
maybe we could plan that for. Like fall,
Mhm.
maybe we should do it in the summer when the kids aren't.
When the kids aren't there.
Well, I can beat that
Wow,
price.
you wanna talk?
No, I can tell you that on Wednesday coming up, on the 2nd, I think it is.
Yes.
Bob Williams, who's state forester and has done the Stockwood plan, forestry plan, is speaking at the county Parks Environmental Advisory Commission meeting at 7 o'clock in Canale Center on the south English Creek Road.
When is it? It's
7 o'clock on the 2nd of April,
Yeah, which I'm already.
Canale Center.
7 o'clock?
Yeah. Bob Williams. On forestry issues in Atlantic County. He's been the guy to go to for years.
I'm gonna go to that.
So notice there was no controlled burning this year.
They
Well-
did some, I got notices that they did some in Morton recently, but, and right before the rain.
Partly because it was so dry that it was
Yeah.
in danger.
Yeah, and the winds, I just talked to my
Yeah.
son this morning again, because they're that big fire. And he said they couldn't go fight it during the daytime because it was too dangerous, so they had to wait at night, but they almost had it out before it started to rain, and then the rain, like it did.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
So if anybody wants to go to that, I'm gonna go, so. I went to one other meeting there, which Jerry spoke at that meeting.
Yeah.
So,
Have they replaced Keith Adams yet?
I don't, they'll do some Thursday night.
Oh.
The agenda came out today, and they're planning on hiring Jerry as the administrator slash public works supervisor.
Jerry go.
Jerry Barbario.
Our hardwoods,
Oh, cool.
so we'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's gonna pass or not.
I thought also that you might be interested in the fact that the shed behind the Roundhouse Museum. Both city buildings, which we rent from the city. Was never cleaned out by the city before we took it over, so that there's a lot of weird stuff in there that is like. Cobra lamps from Philadelphia Avenue, the huge street lamps that have a alarm that comes out. Someone, at some point, when, especially to have a look at what's in there. And you have to go to the. Find when someone's on duty so that we can give you the key.
Where's the shed? In the
Back
back?
behind,
Behind
How big is
the
it?
Roundhouse Museum, there's a
No.
white
it's a
shed
garage.
next to the baseball field.
I didn't know there was city stuff in there. I know everybody's always complained that there was no room for us to store stuff in there. I didn't know city stuff was still in there.
Yeah, we'll come in and say, oh,
Probably.
Well, let the city do it then, you know, bring a truck over and take it,
They do all of our lawn mowing for us, which is very nice.
run over the flower pots and break them, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I have to go buy a new one.
But we have our own lawnmower in there too,
Oh, do we?
and lots of other stuff
Yeah, well, we don't
that
need
we
that
never
either.
use.
Yeah, let's get rid of it, so we can store stuff in there.
You have some kind of an estate sale. Get rid of stuff and generate some money.
Right, that was my thought too.
It's possible somebody may be interested.
So is there a staff under the former Keith Adams?
just the same guys that have been there.
How many people?
I think there's 3,
3?
yeah,
That one, the job.
that work,
Do snow plowing and that sort of thing?
yeah, they do it all. We're also, I think, gonna be hiring a code enforcement officer soon.
Yeah, I saw the sign out there saying, let's see,
I think there was a sign.
I think there was
Yeah,
a sign up
they were
there
doing
saying,
code enforcement interviews, I think.
Yeah.
There's.
we come out, you didn't have a seat on the bench.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had our final interview today, so we'll decide in the next week or so. Who it's gonna be, but that'll be a part-time position. To help out. Everything's kind of like. In flux because we're trying to get an administrator in place.
Really?
An administrator.
Oh,
We're trying to
administrator.
get an administrator in place.
Yeah.
And you a good one for years and years.
To get, you know,
A city administrator?
yes.
We had a very good city administrator and things went
We
very
decided
well.
we didn't want to spend the money, right?
No,
Yeah, that was
it was bigger than that.
you know.
It was bigger
It's
than that
not
while
money.
they get rid of him.
It's a lot, but
Somebody
it's
had
still
to do
less,
for him.
it's still less than replacing all these minor positions. And which we won't have to replace if we have somebody who can supervise
Okay.
the whole, you know, because there's not that many people working here anymore. You know, there's a couple, 3 guys in public works. How much
That's
higher work we
nothing
need,
for a town.
you know?
Yeah.
We got 2 guys in code enforcement. And there's, you know, tax office is kind of on its own and Meg's office, and that's it, that's what we got.
Well, you know the meaning of the term Galveston plan?
No,
Not familiar.
After the hurricane in Galveston, Texas in 1903. The whole town was devastated. And instead of hiring staff to do it all, they gave each member of city council an administrative functional role. And they just happened to have such good people at that time that it worked perfectly. And since then, many cities like Egg Harbor City have decided they don't need an administrator because they can rely on their members of council to head the police or the whatever the
Well,
agency
we
is.
do that pretty much now,
That's what you do. It's called the Galveston Plan. Yes.
but not all of the people who are supervised in various departments and the chairs of those committees have
Competent.
skill sets
Exactly,
Competent.
that
exactly,
work well,
exactly.
and they sometimes
Yeah,
ruffle
It was
feathers.
just luck that it worked well then
Right,
Yeah.
in Galveston, and it's
Yeah.
luck if it works here, and it maybe doesn't.
Well, it's not.
No, because we have committees, I mean, that are.
Every time we turn around, we got another problem to solve.
Yeah.
And it's basically because nobody's minding the store.
Well, because you want to pay for the money.
Well, you know,
It was more than that. It was more than that. Believe me, I was here when it all happened.
what we can do is we can do what we wanna do without it costing us more money. We can manage it,
We hire somebody.
but budgetary wise, to get the right person, you know, because
You're a very good person for a while.
who,
Tom Mitchell.
What was his name?
Tom
Not Henshaw, before Henshaw.
Well,
the young guy, what was his name? I remember him.
Tom was very good.
He
He handled everything.
was a young guy.
Yes, he was.
He was
Yeah.
30s maybe.
Say 2 years. Right?
You know, what's their Haney or Hardy or?
Right.
Well, no, Joe Harney? Joe Harney.
Joe Harney, that's him, that's him.
All right, so just so you know, she's moving into the lake,
Who?
your granddaughter.
I told you that when I sat down here.
Just go.
Oh, she just texted to you. Yeah, and I told her that you do a newsletter and she said, oh, you know, we'll give you all the information when you do your monthly newsletter to put it in there. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
this is it's the last Saturday in June.
Yeah.
Which the weather will be nice and everything, it'll be good. She wants to have games for kids and, you know, really.
Well, it'd be better out there, if she has as many people as she thinks she's gonna have.
Well, she's done
gonna-
fantastic.
She can't do it here.
No.
And it's
It was an issue.
suggested.
We are gonna do it one at our church, St. John's. But we've got a parking lot and everything, and it won't be nearly as big. But,
She had 150 stalls.
oh my God, she's got so many people and she's so organized and I'm telling you, I'm so proud of her. She's been doing the Reed's Farm now. And the first one they had at Reed's Farm, and she gives Gary and me jobs, we sitting at the thing and how many people are coming in the door or do all kind of stuff. But, they were used to doing on a Saturday, they sell food and stuff there too. $4,000 on a Saturday, and that first one, they made $14,000, Reed's Farm themselves.
That's all not wrong. That's Cookie Till.
Yeah. Oh, good, okay, I know her. Well, I don't know her real well, but I got to know who she is now.
All right, who else has stuff to report? Anybody?
I think I helped them.
So is everybody okay if like you change that to not only, the photo contest doesn't have to be just
Oh,
a
no.
Harbor City residents?
Yes, I think the more you.
Just the
bring it
students
together.
have to be from Egg Harbor.
Okay,
I don't wanna open it up to other schools.
yeah, no, this is only for
So
the,
the high school.
For
middle
artists.
school,
yeah,
and-
you know, I didn't contact the high school, do you want me to email high school?
I sent them,
Okay.
but I didn't hear back. I'm telling you, I wonder
I say the
sometimes
more
if
you
my
want, the
emails
better
are
it
being
is.
delivered.
Right, well, that's what I thought, but,
And then more people.
Or they
will
got
know
right
about
and
it,
and
and
say,
so-
oh, no, it's Hurricane.
and I mean, the two people I'm bringing for the poetry, they're both from Hamilton, but they're all excited over it.
Awesome. Good, good, good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanna do, I just wanna bring more eyes on what we're doing in Egg Harbor and, you know, maybe we'll stop for lunch or something.
Sounds good.
I read that poem, I didn't pay any attention, I have to be honest, last year when the kid read it. So I listened to it today, I thought, wow, that's quite a poem.
Yeah,
If I was a third grade boy, I don't know if I'd wanna be reading that in today's age,
I-
I don't know, just. We're such a sensitive society now. They talked about breast and this and that and the Lord and, you know, God, and I'm thinking. I'm putting it out there,
Well, you're a public school teacher, it's why.
yeah, I mean,
The whole world has a God, and there's very
I
few people that
know,
don't.
yeah, except for public schools, although we
And
do a
the
lot,
ones that
we do a
don't-
lot of praying every day, let me tell you. Oh, dear God, let me get through this, Jesus Christ, this kid. I did, shit up.
Here, I definitely. Really? What did I do? Email it?
Yeah. We do a lot of praying in school.
Oh, well, did she say anything about the poem? I mean, they can pick another poem, it's not, doesn't have to be that one.
I'll leave it, I'll talk to, I'm gonna email the teacher and I'll see her tomorrow, I'll talk to her.
Is there a
She wants to
theme?
find something else, that's
Is there
fine.
a
yeah.
theme for the poems?
Yeah, it's a poem by, what's his name? Where did that, is it?
I thought since it was for Arbor Day, it was to do with nature.
You can plan it out now.
That's what you
Yeah,
said.
it was a. It was an audio of somebody reading trees.
Who's going?
Here's another thing that I.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, that's what I thought, was, that's a song too.
Trees turning out is fresh on the earth, sweet flowing breath. A tree that looks to God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. A tree that made in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair. Whose bosom upon snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make it great.
That's a song, you know, that it's supposed to music. I think that I shall never see you like the one.
It's nothing to do with me, here you go. If they wanna find a better one, that's fine, but I just, she said, cause I wasn't, apparently the third grade just got a lot of scrolly ones this year. And so I just talked to one of the teachers and said, hey, what do you think? And they said, oh, no, there's quite a few that are okay. I said, all right, well then, because otherwise I was gonna pass
Well,
on.
last year we had a rap too, I sent a rap, and said, get one of the older kids to do a rap for us.
Right,
That they didn't show up, but the little girl
a little
showed
bit.
up and read the
Yeah.
poem. And, you know,
Yeah.
everybody knows that, and people our age know that, all the grandparents were in the audience, were like, oh, that's so wonderful. They can come up whatever they want, you know, it doesn't, and the other thing is that they can draw trees and we can hang them up, you know? They can do an art project, they can do whatever they want. You know, it'd be nice to have some participation
Yeah,
and getting the kids to, when the kids are involved, more people come.
right, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I think
That's the whole
too.
idea, is to get
Yeah.
people to show up and come and get their free trees if they want.
Yeah.
The people, only people who live in Egg Harbor City can get the trees though, these. Anybody.
Oh, the big ones,
Yeah, the big ones, yeah. Show us on map, really, what the middle is.
No room to plan it.
I hope you don't mind, I'm gonna get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner.
Either.
Alright, thank
All
you.
my family, they're on their own.
Yeah, well, Gary ate already when he came up, and I said, I like to eat when I'm done for the day.
How's company?
We are getting divorced.
Oh, okay.
He
I didn't wanna
is,
hear.
no, he is,